I'll mention to you now that the books written called Kitaab at-Tawheed with that name are at least 6 books. And I'll name for you now 6 books called Kitaab at-Tawheed. And this has been confusing to some people, because some people have asked me, why are you explaining Kitaab at-Tawheed when you already explained Kitaab at-Tawheed in one of your summer courses? When in actuality, the Kitaab at-Tawheed that I taught previously was the Kitaab at-Tawheed found in Sahih al-Bukhari, which brings us to that, the first of the 6 books called Kitaab at-Tawheed. And al-Bukhari, in the end of his Sahih al-Bukhari, put Kitaab at-Tawheed. And anyone who wishes to review that, Sahih al-Bukhari is readily available, easily available to the Muslims, and the explanation as well in English has been offered, and it's available through the Troy store. That's number 1, Kitaab at-Tawheed of Sahih al-Bukhari, of Imam al-Bukhari, that he put in his Sahih. Number 2, Kitaab at-Tawheed of Muhammad ibn Ishaq ibn Khuzaymah, Abu Bakr al-Naysaburi. Ibn Khuzaymah, the early scholar as well of Hadith, he wrote a book called Kitaab at-Tawheed wa Ithbati Sifat al-Rabbi Azza wa Jal. Here is the cover of that book, Kitaab at-Tawheed. Now, Kitaab at-Tawheed by Ibn Khuzaymah. Ibn Khuzaymah died in the year 311. Bukhari died in the year 256. Let's move on to the year 395, where we have a great Imam of Tawheed and Sunnah named Ibn Manda. And when you hear the name Ibn Manda as a benefit for the more advanced students or those who want more, Ibn Manda, when mentioned as a scholar, refers to one of 5 scholars known by that name, Ibn Manda. And for those who want to push themselves, I'll leave that question to you to research. Who are the 5 scholars that may possibly be referred to when someone says Ibn Manda? Ibn Manda, Abu Abdullah Muhammad ibn Ishaq ibn Manda, died in the year 395. He's the author of Kitaab at-Tawheed. That's one of the 5. So we have Kitaab at-Tawheed of al-Bukhari, Kitaab at-Tawheed of Ibn Khuzaymah, Kitaab at-Tawheed of Ibn Manda, Kitaab at-Tawheed of Ibn Rajab al-Hanbali. Kitaab at-Tawheed, a small book called Kitaab at-Tawheed, not very well known. Kitaab at-Tawheed of Ibn Rajab al-Hanbali. Ibn Rajab was who? The author of Jami' al-Ulum wal-Hikam, the great and most outstanding explanation of the 40 hadith of an-Nawawi, and a great scholar of hadith and its hidden defects as well. He also gave an explanation to Sahih al-Bukhari. That's Ibn Rajab al-Hanbali. Then we have, and Ibn Rajab died in the year 695. Then we have Kitaab at-Tawheed of Shaykh Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab, the book that we are studying. That's number 4. And he died in the year 1206. So we've moved on quite a bit here. And then we have Kitaab at-Tawheed. That's number 5, right? Number 5. And then Kitaab at-Tawheed, we can add one more. A book written by our Sheikh Salih al-Fawzan. He has his own book called Kitaab at-Tawheed. So we have there 6 books called Kitaab at-Tawheed, written throughout history. Our book is the 5th of them, Kitaab at-Tawheed of Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab.